Liquidation's pushing back, but we won't hesitate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, getting a little late start tonight. Shaved a little bit of the beard off, dropped 5 years of age. Welcome in, I'm Jason, creator of the TCP Super System. Got a good one for you tonight. We got several alerts in coming off the little pump we saw the other day. Bitcoin retested that 70,000 mark, did not hold it. We did warn that it could potentially be a bull trap. Obviously, there's potential turmoil brewing with the Middle East. They can't reach a deal, probably about early next week. Things could get interesting. But before we get into the alerts, just to let you know, we'll cover all the alerts that came in today. Bitcoin, I got a request to cover Dash, so we'll cover Dash. And we may or may not look at XRP. If I don't, XRP will be tomorrow around lunchtime. And housekeeping stuff. Discord, again, free until October. Please note, there are two alert channels in that Discord. One will contain all the alerts coming in, all the diamonds, level 1s, 2s, and 3s, as well as the confirmed trend reversals up or down. There's a separate one for the multi-conditional alerts, which are very important. That's where you'll have like a level 3 diamond with a red hot sensor. So those nice areas of opportunity where things are all lined up. That's in a separate one that's still free until October. So I would advise to get in there because after October, it will be expensive to get in. Unless you're already in, then it will be massively discounted. So again, that's the same QR code you see on the screen now above the swing trading icon down there. Again, that swing trading will most likely begin in that Discord probably late this year, fourth quarter, and or beginning of next year. I may decide to do some low dollar swing trading for you just to kind of give you a heads up of what it could look like. And I will show you this. I think I may have shown you this before, and I'll give you an example. So give me 1 second, and I'll show you what this is ultimately going to look like. Let's see here. Here we go. So on the screen, you're gonna you see it. So, and I'm not saying that the numbers you're about to see are not accurate numbers. I'm building this out, so I'm using dummy data at the moment. But essentially, I can come in here once we start swing trading. I will have a file, captures all this stuff, and it's going to look a little something like this. When I upload that file into the code, it's going to spit this out, and we'll be able to see quickly how many trades, which assets have we traded the most in terms of profit, the number of trades, open trades, how we're doing overall from a gain perspective, the average number of days per trade. Again, swing trading, my goal is 1 to 5 days. So it's going to be when I make a trade, it's going to be pretty quick to exit. We're looking for those very specific opportunity zones, not really meant to be long-term holding. That long-term holding is done separately. This is specifically for swing trading when I start doing this. It will give us the win rate, and it's going to give us some charts on performance, per month plus overall, the last 10 trades, and you can see there'll be a table of all the trades that we make. So this is what the initial swing trading setup is going to look like, and that'll be all shared in that Discord. There's going to be a swing trading room that's closed. I will do invite only into that. So just wanted to give you a sneak peek of what we're building out there. Pretty neat stuff. So let's get into it tonight. Again, we're going to start with the alerts because this is the daily, nightly alert show. Had quite a few, and we'll start at the bottom because this one's pretty important because I've got something to show you. And let me pull the Discord because I shared the actual image of the chart relatively close to the time this alert fired last night in Discord. This was communicated through I think it was the multi-alert. And let me make sure that one is open to the public. Hang on, yeah, it is. Okay, yep. So once you get into the Discord, you're going to see alert notifications, and then you're also going to see key multi-conditional alerts. That was shared. Actually, I guess I can share this with you. Let's see. See if I can pull this up. Yeah, I can. This is the exact image I shared last night. Here we go. Hopefully y'all can see that. Yep. So this was the image we shared last night in that Discord. You can go check, make sure I'm not lying to you. But I want to show you something. This was on CFG, which is a tokenization play in the crypto space. We had a level 3 diamond back here, and granted, this is an image I can show you on the chart in just a second. But I want you to see when we posted that image, it was at 22 cents. You can see the top of the bar, and you can see that that wick had gone all the way up to like 26, 27 cents, and we had that level 3 diamond. So that was like basically 7 cents to 26 cents. So massive gain in a matter of a couple of days there. So I wanted you to see that image, and I'll pull that up. I'm going to pull that up real quick on the chart since we're covering it. So here's CFG. Again, this is the live chart now. So you can see that level 3 diamond, which we showed you, was back in February 5th. And then this was yesterday, February 26th. So that's 21 days, basically, right? And if you were able to hit that, let's just take the bottom of the candle because there's no big wick here. Let's just say let's just say you're at the top of the candle when we sent the picture last night. That was at 22 cents. So we'll come on down this candle wick here to 22. That's 213%, folks, in 21 days. Show me someone else's system that's doing this. And it doesn't really matter what the news headlines are. What matters is that you have a good system that identifies these opportunity zones before they happen, right? And we had a level 3 right here, our best indicator. Let me get this off the screen. Hang on. There, I'll just leave that on the screen for a second. So level 3, red hot center on the long term, daily view, orange on the medium term, and only yellow on the short term. And look at what you get. I want to show you something. This is all important. You get sideways action, or actually this was up action to the cloud, area of volatility, a little bit of a downturn, confirmed trend reversal, transformation from red to green. You see the little spike up above the cloud. It was approaching the 50-day with that candle. I'll zoom in so you can see this. There's your confirmed. There's your little spike. There's that retracement back to the cloud, just like we tell you, folks. I promise I'm not lying to you. And bam, all the way up through the resistance zones at that point, got to level 3 up here at the top. I mean, remarkable stuff. Now, granted, I have to put the disclaimer out. System signals, interpretations, my trades aren't financial advice. You shouldn't emulate my trades. They're not recommendations to buy or sell anything. Consult your advisor. This stuff is risky. This is just how I identify opportunity zones. And this was one of those opportunities. All right, so I wanted you to see that. Pretty crazy stuff. And you can see when it hit the chat last night in Discord versus what it looks like today. And again, what do we expect to see here? Oh, I want to show you one other thing. Sorry. The level 3 diamond, yes, it was here. Granted, the standard deviations at the top were all down there in those lower extremes, and hence you get this sideways garbage, right? But look right here, right before that big spike. I hope you're starting to understand this system. Look at the white line up top in the standard deviations. Right here. Upper extremes. Where's the orange line? Entering or exiting the top of the green zone. It's beautiful. Really is. And now, if you're like anyone else in the markets, majority, probably 100%, 90%, whatever you want to call it. Most people get in a trade too early. It goes against them. They get out for a loss because they have emotion and fear. Most people also, on the other side of that, make massive gains in a trade, don't get out early enough, and it tanks against their position, and they could have made a lot more. So usually those are the two things that play out for most everybody. And that's why I developed a system that helps me identify this. We literally had a level 3 when this thing was 26 cents. Now, could you have pegged it perfectly? I mean, it would have been hard, yeah. But I mean, even when we posted the image last night, let's see, we posted that image. Let's see, Discord. The alert came in at 9:37 p.m. on Discord. We posted that at 10:05, the image at 10:05 p.m. So 30 minutes later, and it already dropped from what, 26, 27 cents down to 22. That's 30 minutes, folks. That's all I can say. That's all. That's enough of that. Just want to give you that great example. So let's go back into our log for today. Oops, sorry. That was the ones down here at the bottom. That was the CFG, so I'll delete those. And now we will start from the bottom. Jupiter, that was a confirmed trend reversal, and some of these are going to be pretty quick here, because I do want to cover the Bitcoin retest at 70K. So here's your confirmed trend reversal down right here for Jupiter. And again, what do I say all the time? First, the standard deviation looks okay, right? We do have a white line up here near the red zone. It's not in the extremes. The orange line is not in or out of the green zone. It's below the green zone. So it could easily turn over. Area of volatility at the point of transition. No crossovers on the hot sensors. So for me, this is not a spot I would do anything. That's just me. Again, not financial advice. Do your own thing. That's Jupiter. This is Cipher Digital, and I believe that is a stock, I believe, yeah. Yeah, NASDAQ. I think this is one of the miners. So, and I'll be honest, I'm just going to say this, because we actually nailed CleanSpark the last time this kind of scenario played out. And actually, I even announced what I thought the price target could potentially be, and we absolutely crushed it well in advance. It was kind of awesome to see. But I think when Bitcoin starts taking off here, whether that's middle of March, whenever it's going to be, these miners have been absolutely hammered. I feel like for me, there's potentially some really good opportunities, and you're about to see some. I'm sure we'll be getting some alerts very soon, as we already are. But this is a confirmed trend reversal to the upside. So what do we have here for Cipher? Zoom in just to make this a little pretty here. So we had a level 2 diamond back here on February 5th. Nothing really crazy in the hot sensors at the time. They were actually declining. So if you look at the long term, it was going from red to yellow to gray. So that's kind of weakening. Now, granted, on that, you see the weakness there, right? We got the downturn. What happens on the downturns? Start getting levels of diamonds. We start getting close to levels of support. In this case, that was getting close to the 200-day. Didn't quite make it. But again, level 2, back to the cloud. Look at where it closed. Smack dab on the 100-day moving average. It did pump through it, but it came right closed on it. Pretty remarkable. What happens at the areas of resistance? Right back down. Now we're going back up. Now we're going back down. Pretty much we're in those areas of resistance. Yes, we are getting a confirmed uptrend, so that cloud is transitioning. The orange line is above the green zone. The white line is above the red, but you can see it's on a downturn, so we need it to flip back up to the upside there for Cipher if we want it to keep running. And this almost looks pretty similar to what CFG did, the big one I showed you a minute ago. I mean, it looks pretty identical. So we'll see if something similar happens here. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but similar setup and structure here. Maybe a little different on the standard deviations, not quite as clean as CFG was. Interesting stuff here on Cipher. Zone, another stock, level 1 red diamond. And you can see we've got a cluster of red diamonds here on Zone. That's the one that's actually in our stock portfolio right now. Of course, we've been hammered on that when I got into early when I really wasn't applying the system yet. But again, you can see that level 3 diamond back here. Everything was, 2 of the hot sensors were red. That was back on February 5th as well. Sideways to back to the cloud. We pumped through the cloud. Got the level 1 diamonds here. So now I would expect us to hover here around the top of the cloud and before we potentially take off. Now, the one thing you need to pay attention to here, we do have a crossover, so that's positive on the short term. Starting to see improvements in the hot sensors. Long term are still red. So as long as zone can maintain the top of this cloud at 29 cents, I would wait for that one. I would wait for the next candle after it maintains that top, and we could probably see this thing run up to that 100-day 60 cents, which was a double up almost. So pretty interesting there. Again, you saw that level 1 diamond, slight retracement on the same candle. So still pretty consistent with what we typically say based on the interpretations. So that's zone. Ave confirmed trend reversal down. Again, price action below the cloud. So area of volatility here. No crossovers yet. So still weak. Everything's still below the green zone. So still weak. But pay attention here because, in these sideways choppy zones, things can happen fast. So just be aware. And we don't have, what is this, Ave? We don't have leverage liquidation zones here. So let's go get some for old Ave while we're on the recording with you. Again, we like to use a 3-month leverage liquidation viewpoint. Just helps identify some key levels. But yeah, we definitely got some potential to go lower. $84 is zero. So basically 84 to 91. How much leverage up here? So $78,000 of leverage at 210, which is much higher than where we are now. So yeah, once this thing, I'm telling you guys, this stuff is sick. I just feel like in my gut, we're going to have one more leverage liquidation event. And they can blame it on the Iran stuff. They can blame it on Pakistan and Afghanistan stuff happening today. Whatever it's going to be, I think we could see that one little quick wick. It could be one candle, but I think we're going to hit it. Just have a gut feeling. But again, that's just my own opinion. So 84 to 91. Do we not have any on here? We don't have any. Oh yeah, we do. Okay, there's one. So let's clone this real quick. Bear with me, guys. This is important stuff. I'll clone it, and we're going to drag it. Pull this in. All right, let's re-expand all this now. Good view here. All right. 84 to 91. There it is. Now, since we're here, we'll do the upside as well. Obviously, the brighter the blue, the better. Obviously, orange, we don't see any orange here, but we do see some. So that's light blue, so that's probably not as much. That's 77,000. Up here, we got 78,000. So we're going to say, I'm going to go ahead and call it. We're going to say 206. That's just too far. Hang on. We're gonna have multiple zones here. What is this right here? This is 132 to 150. That's too big of a range. I'm gonna go. Here's the first one: 147 to 157. All right. Let's clone this one. $147. Close enough. 157. There's the first one to the upside. And then I think we've already got the top one up here. Yeah, we do. That's 300. So we need the 200. All right. So then the next one's going to be probably this range right here where you got all the blue. But let's just say 206. 206. 206 to 214. That's pretty much right on it. 206 to 214. And that gets us started on this one. I'm not going to go any further than that. So that's Ave. Again, confirmed downtrend here for Ave. Again, no crossovers on the sensors yet. Standard deviation, things are starting to, they see it's got this long sideways action. That's that longer the base, higher the space, right? So you can see the sideways action now. So this thing could go either way, but I still, with all the leverage that's still out there in the market, I think they're going to go get it one last time. And I think that's going to be the final shakeout, just an opinion. But I think it's going to be fast, both directions. So do you want to be greedy and try to peg it? You know, whatever. But I try not to play that game. I like to identify those opportunities when they do hit. And if I have extra capital, then I'd look for opportunities to deploy it. But that is your ranges here for Ave. And it just so happens the next range up just so happens to be between the 50 and the 100 day. It's amazing how it works like that, isn't it? Got to understand the game, folks. All right, let's keep moving. Chain link confirmed trend reversal to the upside on old chain link. You can see we had the pump up, the pump down. We're at or just above the point of transition here with the confirmed uptrend. White line is up and toward those extremes, but the orange line has not made its way yet. So be careful. This thing, you can see the downward trajectory here. It could easily come back down through that red. It has to stay above the red zone for sure. But if that orange line doesn't make it through the green, then you know, I would be a little hesitant for myself. So that's chain link. ZBEC confirmed trend reversal to the upside at the point of transition here. So a little volatility. Again, same scenario here. So just watch the next day or two. We'll see what things look like. Ondo is back in the picture here. All right, Ondo. Confirmed trend reversal down. Come on, Ondo. Again, you can see we had the level 2 diamond back here inside of the leverage liquidation zone. Again, pumped up through that cloud, got that red diamond, retraced back to the cloud. And now we got that sideways action. We do have a crossover. But again, the white line is now back down through that red zone. Orange line, blue line's down below the green zone up here. You can see right here, hasn't quite made it through. So not quite what we want to see yet here for Ondo, but that thing's been beat so bad. I would imagine this might have been the low back here. Yeah, could it retest the 17, 18 cent mark? Yeah, we'll see. But that is the picture of Ondo right now. Again, all these will be in Discord. Direct feed, live as they trigger, straight to Discord. So get in there for free. No cost right now. So what's next? Before I do Bitcoin, I want to do Dash. That was brought to my attention. So we will take a peek. And you can see it's not green, so I do not have the alerts on that one. I will put that on here. And is that, if I'm not mistaken, is that's not privacy, is it? Hang on. Well, yeah, I bet it is. Privacy coins, if that's the privacy coin, I remember, I haven't looked at Dash in a very long time, but I thought that was a privacy coin. I'm treading careful with those. But again, your mind, the news headlines, they can play drastic games with you. So I'm not saying it has to be my system. This is when I developed it. Block out all the noise, look for opportunities. That's all I'm doing. And I'll show you what dashes look like because I haven't looked at this in a long time. So it's kind of nice to see. Let's actually go backwards a little bit here for Dash. We'll go all the way back here. This is back in November of 25. We had a confirmed uptrend. And the price is right here around 73. Look at those standard deviations. All of them up there in the extremes. That's what you really want. And then bam, we got multiple days of level 3s. Everything was red, peeking out. Blue X is up here. That's prime time, baby. And what do you get? Boom, down. Where does it bounce? Pretty much close to the 50-day area of support. Right back up through the cloud, level 1 diamond, right back down. Now here, this is a great example of how I can use this system to avoid entering too early, which is what I mentioned early in the show. Level 2 diamonds, right? So you're thinking potential trade, right? Well, you would have done okay. It did go back to the cloud. That is a gain, right? That's that. There's that back to the cloud, right? And back down we go. But if you look longer term, you're like, well, it continued downward. Well, look at your scenario. Level 2 diamond. You just had a crossover on the short term hot sensor, white to blue. So that's getting weaker. Blue is only phase 2 of phase 6 on the hot sensors. So early in that downtrend, right? And everything's so you had a crossover on the short term. You're coming off the reds on the medium term, declining. This is weakness. White line, just like we look for the upside, for the downside. Where's the white line? In the lower extremes, where's the orange line? Well, it's coming down through the red zone. It's the exact opposite, folks. Hence, there you go. But now what do we got? We had the pump up again to level 3s, back down. We got level 3s now. February 5th. Let's take a peek. You had your level 3 around $33.81, which we're actually higher than that right now, barely. But we did have a level 3 back here. We were orange on the hot sensors, medium and short term, no red. And we got a little bit of positive movement the next day, and then sideways action, back to the cloud. Down we come again. But look at the standard deviation here for Dash. Actually, hold that thought. Look at the hot sensors. The short term is approaching the midline. It's improved from orange to yellow to blue to gray to white. All 6 phases except the red. It never made it to red. If we get the crossover, right? We're in the cloud, so it's a dangerous area. This was your opportunity area with the level 3, but you're in the cloud. If we get the crossover and this white line is continuing on a upward trajectory, if it reaches those extremes and that orange line gets to that green zone, watch Dash. Because this was brought to my attention, I will leave it in my list of monitored cryptos. Anytime someone brings a crypto to my attention, unless it's a meme coin, there's only a few meme coins I'll even monitor, and I'll just go ahead and tell you it's Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and that's probably really it, to be honest. So unless it's if it's not a meme coin, I'll leave it on the list. If it looks like there could be any potential, I will build in the alerts for anything. Again, as I build out the rest of these alerts, you can see I've got a lot more green now, but we'll continue to put in those alerts so they'll continue to feed into the Discord over time. So that is kind of where we are on Dash right now. So certainly some potential based on what we're seeing with the signals, just not quite ripe and ready to go yet. But keep your eye out on that one, and I can revisit that here in a couple days. And lastly tonight, I'll close out with Bitcoin. Here it is, folks. That was your pump to 70. Again, we say it pumps through the cloud. Now, granted, this one didn't have any diamonds. And again, you're not going to see as many diamonds with Bitcoin because it's higher price, more stable asset comparatively speaking to the rest of the crypto space. Now, we did have a level 2 down here, so that would probably be your sign. And I mean, hell, the next day you went from 62,500 all the way to, I mean, that's almost 10 grand in one candle, folks. And a lot of money. So, but here again, what I would pay attention to, where are we at with Bitcoin? We're in the cloud. It's a tough area to be. Orange line for Bitcoin below the green zone. White line is on a downward trajectory at the moment. Still basically at the bottom of the red zone, so it's not ready yet. Now, Bitcoin's going to move a lot when it moves. So yeah, I'm probably going to miss out on a couple of grand either way. That's okay. I want confirmation. That's just the way I do it. And again, 51,000 seems to be the bottom of the leverage liquidation zone. That's on the 3-month chart. I looked at it today. It's still pretty much there. And then again, I've already declared these upper zones in the past videos, so I don't need to rehash all that. So that's kind of where we are on Bitcoin. It was nice to see those gains on all the altcoins and Bitcoin the other day. And you have to expect a little volatility, right? Nothing's going to go straight up. You just want to be careful, be smart, be patient. Always have some powder on the sideline if you can. I know it's tough, but that was the show tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell if you don't want to miss these going forward. I think this is a truly unique channel. We appreciate all of our viewers. We're trying to get to 800, so please share it. We're approaching 750. I would like to be at 1,000 by October to really launch what I want to do for my community. So help us out if you can. Till next time, be good. I appreciate you. Love you. Have a good night.